They redirected.
Good morning. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow your heads for a prayer, please. Heavenly Father, we beseech your divine guidance in this meeting. Keep us ever mindful of our obligation. Grant us, dear Lord, wisdom, tolerance, and courage that we may well serve our county and fulfill our trust. Amen. It's a new year, so we have new president and vice president. So, you know, we look a little different, and I will probably be a little discombobulated this first meeting, but here we go.
Follow your script there.
My script.
Yeah.
I did pledge approval of minutes.
So technically, I think you're moving
You're
still.
moving.
I'm moving minutes?
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
why.
Yeah, because we
I
haven't
will-
elected president yet.
Okay. See, I told you.
We're still following your lead, though. That's
Yeah, that's all right.
Okay.
It was just like, yeah, okay.
All right, I will make a motion to approve the minutes from December 23rd.
I will second it.
Discussion? All in favor? I mean,
Roll call.
All right, Sweattick,
Yes.
Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have any public comment regarding any pending resolutions? Okay. Commissioners' organization resolutions. All right, we have our first resolution, reorganizing resolution to establish rules related to conduct and notice of meetings, set dates of sessions for 2026, and elect president and vice president of the board for 2026. I will move that
And
resolution.
I will second.
Any discussion? Roll?
Sweattick,
Yes.
Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Okay, the areas of responsibilities. Resolution appointing county commissioners to various committees and areas of responsibility for the year 2026. I will.
I'll make a motion.
Steve's.
I'll make a motion to. Now here's where we go. I make a motion to approve.
And I will second that.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Sweattick.
Yes. Awesome. Okay, County Administrator's Authority. We have a resolution designating and granting various authority to the Medina County Administrator.
I will make the motion to approve.
Second?
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Sweattick.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, thank you so
good.
much. All right, department reports. First up, with resolutions, Andy Conrad, our county engineer.
In the vein of doing organization, I also have some resolutions to start the year. So bear with me. I have 9 resolutions for your consideration. The first being authorizing the county engineer to proceed with certain instances of using force account for reconstruction, improvement, and maintenance of roads, bridges, and culverts. The second would be authorizing the president of the Board of County Commissioners to submit an application to execute contracts to OPWC for Issue 1 funding. The third would be authorizing the Medina County Commissioners to participate in ODOT Cooperative Purchasing Program. The fourth would be approving the plan specification estimate of costs and authorizing the county engineer to advertise for bids of Greenwich Road Guardrail Project in Wadsworth Township. The fifth would be authorizing the county engineer to advertise for bids for the 2026 Marks Road and Granger Road resurfacing projects. Sixth would be approving the dedication of Cross Point Drive as a public highway in Montville Township. Number 7 would be approving the dedication of Trinity Way as a public highway in Medina Township. And the 8th would be authorizing the county engineer to purchase a new model year paver. And the last resolution approving the annual county highway system mileage certification report prepared for ODOT.
Move to approve the 9 resolutions.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll?
Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Sweattick.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Next up, we have Jeremy Cinco, our sanitary engineer.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
I only have one resolution for consideration today, and that is authorizing the sanitary engineer to enter into an agreement with Rolling and Hocevar for professional design services for a water main extension along Lakeview Court.
Move to approve.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll?
Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Sweattick.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have a commendation for Jeremy's department. We have a commendation, a resolution commending Daniel Ingram for his 36 years of service with Medina County, whereas it has come to the attention of the Board of County Commissioners that Daniel Ingram has decided to retire from the Medina County Sanitary Engineering Department on January 2nd, 2026, whereas Daniel was hired on June 25th, 1989, as a water distribution worker and promoted to water system supervisor on September 25th, 2006. And whereas during this time, Daniel has made significant contributions to the department through his knowledge, experience, and dedication positively impacting colleagues, operations, and the community served. And whereas Daniel has exemplified the values and mission of the Sanitary Engineers Department, earning the respect and appreciation of coworkers and leadership. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners wishes to recognize and honor Daniel for his commitment and diligent work during his career with the Sanitary Engineers Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Medina County, Ohio, that Daniel Ingram be and is hereby commended for his 36 years of outstanding service with the Medina County Sanitary Engineer Department.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Well-deserved. 36 years is a really long time in one department. Well-deserved retirement. Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes. Next up, we have Holly Murin, our Human Resources Director.
Good morning.
Good
Morning.
On our personnel changes resolution today, we have 3 new hires, 1 in sanitary, 1 in transit, and 1 at senior and adult services, 1 promotion in transit, 3 rate increases, 1 at IT, 1 in transit, 1 at solid waste district, 1 leave of absence in sanitary, 1 return from leave in transit, 1 resignation at senior and adult services, and 1 retirement in sanitary.
Move to approve.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Holly.
good, thank
Next up, we have Brett Thomas, our Finance Director.
Good morning, Commissioners, and Happy New Year. I have 9 resolutions for you today. Our first 3 are actually some housekeeping from the end of 25. We wanted to bring these through as amendments to the prior resolution put forth on the 23rd. The first one is an amendment for the appropriation measure resolution from the 23rd. The second is amending the transfer of appropriations, and the third is technically an amendment, but we are adding an expenditure adjustment. These are cleanup resolutions for our end-of-year drifts for our fund balances. Our fourth resolution begins our actual 2026 resolutions, and that is our sales tax in the amount of $4,679,131.81. That's for Q4 of 25. Our fifth resolution is accepting the terms of engagement for the state auditors LGS, the Local Government Services Division. This is for preparation of the annual financial statements. This is not the audit itself. This is LGS assisting us with creation of our financials for the amount of $45,000. We provide the letter on that, so give me 1 second as I scroll through that, because that one takes a second on my screen. And our sixth resolution is declaring excess property. We have a rather long list of amounts that are being removed, and then we have a small amount going for auction. And then our seventh resolution is travel expenses for the engineer's office for the County Engineers Conference in Columbus. Our eighth resolution is expenses for county officials. We have Economic Development Corporation, the commissioners for the Economic Development Corporation, and then the auditor for the County Auditors Association. And then the ninth resolution is our weekly bills in the amount of $681,884.23.
Move to approve the 9 resolutions.
Second.
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Matt Springer, our County Administrator.
Good morning. I have 3 resolutions. The first one's approving the electrical aggregation contract with Dynegy Energy Services. We went out to for an RFP, received pricing. This would be a fixed rate at 9.5 cents a kilowatt hour for a 25-month term. Second resolution is accepting a grant agreement for McSass from Western Reserve in the amount of $10,447. And then third and final is approving a grant agreement or a contract agreement with Central Square for 911 emergency communications for the Sheriff's Office. We are using wireless 911 funds for this agreement.
Move to approve the 3 resolutions.
Second?
Discussion? Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Next up, we have our department reports. First up, we have Laura Toth from McSass.
Happy New Year.
You too.
We ended the year well, finishing up our grant-funded services from Western Reserve Area Agency on Aging. We fell just a little bit short in a few categories. We have 16 what they consider wasted meals in home delivery. That's back from January and February of 25. I made the call to cancel routes mid-route because of the inclement weather, especially Brunswick a couple times got hit last winter, right in meal delivery time. So we're unable to bill. The food got to us and then it went out, but it didn't get delivered. So we also had 17 meals short. We were 17 meals short of our goal in Brunswick. And 14 hours short of our goal in short-term case management. The latter is due to inadequate staffing in our outreach department. We were about 6 months without one of our social workers, so we were unable to meet that goal. But I think we did a great job, a tough year, so I'm really happy. Matt and I discussed these numbers, and they're a little better than they were at the time we had that discussion, so we ended the year very strong. Happy with that. And you'll hear more about that. I'll have final numbers and charts next month. I want to hand out our newsletter, the Medina newsletter for January, February. We're hoping in the March, April editions of Medina and Brunswick that we will be able to send those out, mail those out with funding from the Senior and Adult Foundation. I wanted to take just a second and talk about the Senior and Adult Foundation and what they did in 2025. We formed this 501c3 in 2018. Myself, I think Marie Edmonds is the chair. I think the two of us are the only two that are left that started it. But here's some of the program highlights for 2025 that they funded. And just when I think about this and what our services would look like without this foundation, it's really impactful. But the foundation in 2025 covered the cost of Wednesday congregate meals in Medina, so they were all free to consumers, and our meal numbers are around 60 each week. Provided entertainment for centers, provided food for Senior Day, for the luau, for Oktoberfest, for Halloween at both locations, updated and refinished the craft room at Senior and Adult Services. The price tag for that was about $40,000. Provided funds for the SNAP food bags when there was a gap in SNAP funding in November. Provided 410 $50 Aldi cards for all recipients of Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program funds. Provided funding for home repairs throughout clients in Medina County in cooperation with Habitat for Humanity, and they'll continue that again this year. They kept on the DIAL programs. They're providing funding for computer educators at the centers. They funded mental health support groups, bought meal carts and actual bags that our drivers used. They bought a TV that we use for meeting with clients so we can meet in a separate room and broadcast it on a TV. Large screen monitors in Medina and Brunswick. They updated the courtyard benches, which said Office for Older Adults, so we had to buy parts that said Senior and Adult Services. They rented space at the Eagles for our 90 and over party and for Oktoberfest. They advertised, so they paid for the Senior Adult Services advertisements in publications, both in Wadsworth for their calendar and in Brunswick. They paid for magnets for home delivered meal clients with the call-off number if they can't be there for meals. They bought new appliances at the cafe in Wadsworth. They bought furniture for center use. They bought AED supplies. And they bought a microwave for Brunswick. So we tried to cover, all areas we could, but that foundation has just become so integral to the work we do every day. So I wanted just to take a minute and highlight the good work that they do. Our next fundraiser for the foundation is March 21st is the fashion show. And also just a quick shout out to the Medina Moose, who sponsors us every year. We are the charity that they choose to disperse some of their gambling funds to. So I'm not advertising gambling, but we'll benefit from it.
But if you must gamble, do it with Moose.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that makes sense.
Become a member of the Moose Lodge, absolutely. Tax appointments. Of course, it's January. We have to talk about tax appointments. The AARP will not have their schedule done for us. Again, taxes are done by volunteers for the AARP, not by Senior and Adult Services. We just schedule for the volunteers that are doing the tax. So it's kind of an agreement. But we're encouraging, they are not going to have their appointments ready till the end of January. We're not sure if they're just going to be in Medina, if they're going to be in Medina and go back to Brunswick. We do know that they will be in Wadsworth at the Suprema Center, but that program is separate from the Medina Brunswick program. We are encouraging folks to call the last week of January, so January 26th or after. That's about a week later than last year, but to schedule their tax appointments for the 2025 tax year. So I don't have much of an update. When I come here in February, though, I'll start off with that. So I'm sure people are going to want to know. Just finally, our upcoming events, we have a pajama party in Medina on the 30th. So I hope I don't have anything important. I'll be running around town in my pajamas now. And and also on that day, we're doing our annual Corsa training that Dawn Fry provides. We bring everybody in and do an all-staff training because not everybody has the county emails system, our drivers and stuff, so we all do it at once. That's on the 30th as well. So that's what we're doing. Thanks so much.
Just wanted to mention too, you talked about the audit. I appreciate you bringing those numbers up, but a lot of those things on your list that the foundation assists with, those are things you're not getting measured on, and so I just think it's worth noting, particularly the SNAP benefits and those kinds of things, where we're leaning in and doing extra things over and above that don't make it onto a score sheet or a KPI or something like that. So I just I think it's worth acknowledging publicly the additional efforts that your department's doing year long. The numbers are the numbers, but the other stuff I think factors into having a really strong department. So thanks
I wholeheartedly agree. And like I said, we've come to count on that. And I know that Commissioner Hambley and probably Commissioner Swedick remember days when we could not do anything like this. We had very limited funding, and the commissioner certainly made commitments that were very important, like, delivering a meal to everybody who needs a meal and stuff like that. But all the stuff that is maybe not as important, but very important, couldn't have been done. So it has just been wonderful, and thank you for the kudos. I'll let the foundation know.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you, Laura. All right, next up, we have Denise Testa from Planning Services.
Good morning.
I just have one resolution for your consideration. This was shared with one of the executive officers of the Home Builders Association, so last month. But this is accepting and awarding a proposal for consulting services to review and update the Medina County subdivision regulations and, if applicable, a proposed development agreement with American Structure Point.
I will move to approve.
Second.
Discussion?
And this is just, it looks like the cost is not to exceed $45,000. Is that right?
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
Very good.
Great.
Roll?
Hambley?
Yes.
Harrison?
Yes.
Sweattick?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Very good.
So this is January. Our January Planning Commission meeting has 5 agenda items, 2 major subdivisions and 3 text amendments. For February, we have currently submitted 2 major subdivisions, a replat in York Township, and then a Sharon Falls preliminary plan and final plat for Sharon Township. So February will be a little lighter. So as you know, we're moving forward with the review of the subdivision regulations. So the prosecutor has completed their review, and that will be in the hands of the applicant of American Structure Point here soon. We're also with much of the development occurring on Route 94 in Sharon Township, as you've seen in what I call our Route 94 corridor. There are some documented coal mines in that area. So we did receive a geotechnical study report from one of our applicants, and we are looking to, we've reached out to a consultant to kind of help us interpret and review that study. So I'll be coming to you with some recommendations as to who might be able to help us with that. We are continuing with the Lead Safe Ohio project as well. The PY24 Community Development Block Grant. So again, the Battered Women's Shelter, they're actually going to attend the RV Expo up in Cleveland, as they've received a grant from us to purchase an access mobility vehicle. And then we're continuing to draw down funds for the Senior Citizen Rental and Food Assistance Program. I've received some information from the state regarding the PY26 Community Development Block Grant, so we'll start working with our local communities and organizations to submit applications. So for our PY23 Community Housing Improvement and Preservation Program, also known as CHIP, we've drawn about 85% of those funds, or $637,000. So we'll continue to draw that. We're waiting to hear about the PY25 CHIP award. So if you wouldn't mind just checking your emails in case the state sent you, maybe Aaron, you may have received something and it may have gone to your spam. Okay. I know sometimes when I receive information from the state, it goes from this into the spam. The fairgrounds, obviously, that has wrapped up, which was a very good meeting last month. And they will be sending us the short-term and long-term recommendations. So we're also working on the Medina County Demographic Project. We've sent some of the zoning information, some of the maps that he has requested, as well as I'll be sending him the subdivision data from the last 5 years, so he can kind of see that. I think it's up to about 1,600 sublots now.
Really?
Because we've added Brunswick. Brunswick's
Yeah.
always the wild card.
Oh.
We'll also be working on the Ohio Department of Agriculture Land Use Planning Grant. I'll be working with Steve on that. And finally, we are moving to the second floor this week, and I'd like to thank our IT team as well as our facilities teams, because I know they're doing much of the heavy lifting, and we really appreciate their assistance and cooperation with us. So they've been great to work with. Any questions?
Any questions?
Nope.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
All right.
Hey,
Thank you so much.
Okay, next up we have public comment. Any public comment? Okay, discussion? Steve?
Yeah, I wanted to bring up we had received from Grace Galucci, as we're aware of the changes in the NOACA, the board's meeting, a special meeting this Friday, and changing the code of regulations with regard to the composition of the board and so forth. I know this had been discussion last several months, and they have to have a special meeting in order to have it apply to this year's, I guess, membership. In Article 4, and I made sure that you had the copies of that, in Article 4, I guess I just want to get on record my concerns with the changes of representation, identifying no longer identifying the county engineer as being a member of an automatic member of the NOACA board, but the county engineer is basically a commissioner appointee. And from the very beginning of NOACA, as primarily a transportation planning organization, county engineers have always been entitled to be the voting members on the boards, regardless of what a board of commissioners had to say. And I know that a lot of these changes are coming generated from one of the counties who has an issue with their county engineer, unfortunately, and they're trying to spread and change the code of regulations to reflect their ability to essentially appoint someone else other than their county engineer. County engineers are elected by the entire county to represent everybody in the entire county, whether in a municipality, village, or township, and there's no other elected official or even that has the responsibility for transportation planning, like a county engineer. So to remove that, and I know that we can work around it if it gets as an appointee. We'll still, more than likely, we still ask the services of Andy Conrad and our county engineer to do it. But I just think fundamentally changing that I will say at the whims of some of the counties that feel that county engineers don't have by right of virtue of their office, a seat at the table, is just wrong. So I just want to voice my concerns that I think we be opposed to the change, and I know that there's an interpretation given that change in what article was that? The last article that they can make those modifications without all 5 counties agreeing.
That's Article 11.
In Article 11. Also, their interpretation is that they can create an exception that doesn't require all 5 counties to make that change under the current code.
I think it's Article 9, I misspoke.
Article 9? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Andy, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Would you like to come up?
This is a difficult subject because NOACA is primarily, as Steve said, a transportation planning organization. And, as a county engineer, I'm an elected official, and this is what I do. And for the transportation planning organization to want to potentially eliminate the county engineers, and if you look at even the composition of some of the other seats, the public service director, capital improvement up in city of Cleveland, to me, I don't know why we would want to remove the people with the technical expertise for an organization that says that's what they're looking for. So and just to have political appointments. So to me, for an organization that's, I think, struggling with credibility, this just adds to it. And I'm not sure why we would be going down this road.
The 3 of you are in the room. Are you sensing that this will pass?
From my discussions, I think it is.
Well, it went through the committees, but we only had one vote. I mean, basically it was Jeff Brandon, and he ended up going along with it. But remember it went through the committee process, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the board signs on to it. And
I agree
mean,
with
if it
you
does,
both wholeheartedly.
Yeah, I just think
This
it's a
is
mistake.
Yeah, I think, and I don't disagree either. I think the engineers play a critical role, but I think there is a little bit of context here too that's probably missing from the text itself. This is born out of earlier this year when I think it was Geauga County Geauga County has read, they've only got 3 seats. They've not had a dedicated engineer spot on the board. And earlier this year, it was one of the early meetings in the year, maybe the March meeting. There was an effort originating from Geauga County for the NOACA board to approve or ratify a change whereby one of their 3 commissioner seats was going to become a dedicated engineer seat. And among others, Medina County, we didn't take any action to ratify that. At the time, it felt like we were being asked to weigh in on kind of an internal squabble between the commissioners in that particular county. And that was why I was inclined to say, at their organizational meeting, the commissioners, when they're appointing representatives and things like that, they can decide that. What I didn't realize at the time, and now have a better understanding of in the context of this change, is the reading and the weight that's given to this section, whatever it is, 4.2, regarding board makeup, is actually pretty rigid in that what has historically been the Medina County makeup, which, by the way, I think works very well for Medina County, is, Romanet 1 is county commissioner. This is in the current format.
Correct.
Romanet 2 is county commissioner, parentheses, municipal representative. Romanet 3 is county commissioner, parentheses, township representative. And Romanet 4 is county engineer. And that's how we have our delegation, essentially. Now, I had interpreted that casually to say, well, the township and the municipal, the parenthetical things, those are things we could override by our own action. And I was informed in the context of this discussion, this larger discussion, that in fact we wouldn't be able to do that. My only pushback to your sentiments, Andy, and I say this saying that if we're going to have a seat on NOACA's board, I want you as our county engineer to be there as part of that delegation, because I think you provide a lot of value, you provide a good perspective and technical expertise. However, my pushback on that would be to say, in some of these discussions that we've had over the years that I've been part of the NOACA board, where the conversation strays way beyond the realm of transportation, and you know that too. When we are having political discussions, some of those times I think it would be beneficial for us to have political delegations there. I think we've managed that well with
Alternates.
our alternates and things like that. But even that, there's a certain rigidity with how that's been interpreted by NOACA. And so I don't know if this is the right solution, but I think have a better appreciation for the dynamic there, because I do think there's some value in commissioners in different counties of having a more active role in appointing who else is on their delegation. We are one of the ones where we'd specifically be removing the engineer appointment, which we would promptly act to replace. I think there's only one other, and that's Lake County, where there's actually a county engineer that's specifically in the bylaws that would go away. Cuyahoga County doesn't, I don't believe they have a county engineer.
They do.
Oh, they do? But that
It's not an elected
It's not
position.
elected.
not an
It's
elected
appointed.
position and has not been serving on the
Correct.
board.
Correct.
Geauga County has had their engineer in an alternate position, so he's been to plenty of board
Correct.
meetings, but he's not had a identified spot on the board. And then I guess Lorraine County also has a county engineer spot, but that one, for whatever reason, for reasons I don't know, isn't being modified by this proposal. So I don't know if that was.
Well, that begs the question, why was it modified for Medina County? If the issue was modifying Lake County, it should have just been Lake County as part of the changes, rather than also modify Medina County. That's where
And
my
City of
opposition
Cleveland-
rises.
City of Cleveland.
City of Cleveland as well.
Yes.
Well, and even whenever.
They have more mayor
whenever-
appointees now.
Well, yeah, and I think there's always been that issue in Cuyahoga County when they went from a commissioner form to basically a charter form of government. It was the director of public works, and that made sense. It made
Yeah.
total sense. And frankly, unfortunately, I'll just say, in my opinion, NOACA has suffered from, or we've suffered from NOACA's mission creep.
Yeah.
They've gone beyond transportation planning, and I think to the detriment of credibility.
And I would file this under one of
and-
the unintended consequences.
and this
of
is
that.
exactly
Yeah,
just
yeah.
another step forward in mission creep, expanding it beyond what the primary and some might say ought to be the exclusive role of a NOACA is transportation planning.
Well, the only thing
Yeah.
I would say differently is, I don't know if this is an expansion of mission creep or if this is a response to mission creep. If this is saying, well, if we're doing all these things that have nothing to do with transportation, maybe we want to have the ability to create a delegation that's better positioned to respond to that. And I don't say that as it relates to Medina County, because I have a lot of confidence in the way we've managed this with a municipal representative, with the cycle that rotates between the
Well,
three cities and township representatives and.
For
and
our county, that
engineer.
has worked out, because if we talk about water quality, surface water
Mm-hmm.
quality, it is the county highway engineer's office that actually does a stormwater quality. When
Right.
we've done the MPDS and the expansion over the years, their task force for stormwater management, it involved the county engineers for many of those areas. So even as areas that hadn't been totally transportation planning, economic development is tied to transportation planning.
Yeah.
So even whenever we expand areas of NOACA involvement, county engineers still have a role in playing that, and they are elected countywide.
Right.
And I think so that's my objection, is changing Medina County's condition or representation by that. I'm curious about the comment is that if we wanted to modify the representation of Medina County in terms of municipal and township, you mean that we wouldn't be able to approve or disapprove representation?
No, if we were, you mean in the current format?
Yeah, in the current format.
The way it was explained to me was, if we wanted to do away with a municipal representative or a township representative under this current format, and by the way, nobody's making the argument that we should.
Okay, all right,
To be
okay,
clear.
yeah.
But if we were to go down that path, the only way for a municipal and township representative to be excluded would be for the full board to ratify, for
All five
four of the-
counties.
To go through
for
this
four-
process.
Yeah, to go through the ratification required by the current Article
Right, if we were
9.
going to,
Right.
yeah.
So this
yeah.
article, the
Well, we-
changes to Article 4 in connection with the changes to Article 9 are
Mm-hmm.
to are to kind of simplify the procedures and the protocols by which.
Well, make it easier for the majority of the board to change the composition.
And that's
Change
what I-
composition, and that
Right.
I oppose as well.
I
It ought to be
agree.
ratified by 5.
I think they changed. I think they softened that language in Article 9 for the one that
Well,
we're voting on this
in
week.
1997, when I joined the NOACA board, each commissioner was on the board, and the county engineer. We did not create the municipal representation and the township representation until later, but that required all 5 counties to vote.
Yep.
And we all agreed.
Yep.
And that was a good change, and I thought that by then, by practice, what we did is one commissioner became the member, and the alternate was somebody from the cities.
Yeah.
And the alternate for the other was from somebody from the townships. So just by practice, we were already doing that, and we just solidified it in the Code of Regulations when it was ratified. I don't see the need for the change. I think we ought to oppose it. What happens at the board meeting on Friday, I guess we'll see how that vote goes, but I think we ought to indicate that we do not agree with that change. Certainly for Medina County, we don't agree. I don't agree with that change at all.
Yeah.
Aaron, just to your point of why Lorraine County, my understanding, what I was told is they reached out to Lorraine County and asked them if they wanted to change.
Yeah.
And they said, no, we're happy the way we
Yeah,
are.
and I don't.
That's what I was told.
And I didn't have that conversation. I also, if I had had that conversation, I would not have been that opposed to it in the context of saying, well, it's not going to change anything for us anyway.
Yeah.
The ability to have some flexibility going forward seems to have some appeal to me, and I don't say that with any knives out for our county engineer,
I understand.
current or future, but
But I'm just looking at some of the other states,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm looking not only at Medina County, but if you look at some of the other named positions within Cuyahoga County that are being
That are
struck.
disappearing, right.
It's just, to me, it doesn't make any sense.
But I guess.
when I don't know how those communities are going to vote on it. So when you
Yeah,
say
right.
what's the board
We
going to
don't
do,
know.
I have no
And that-
idea.
and-
From a
to your-
practical standpoint, I do not want to see 2 commissioners have the ability to remove the county engineer from being a stated member
Yep.
on the board of NOACA.
Yeah.
To your point, if you look at City of Cleveland, the most significant change are some
Yeah.
people involved with roads,
Yeah.
planning, so now those
Capital
are all,
projects.
now
Yeah.
those
Just be
are all
mayoral.
mayor appointees.
Yeah, and that's where, like I said, I think we work together as a group very well. So I don't necessarily have a big issue here in Medina County, but I'm just looking at the composition of some of the folks that I've worked with for the last 10 years on the board, and they may not be back. I don't know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
and I think they bring value.
All right.
So
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
appreciate.
coming.
Thanks for sticking around for that, Andy.
Anything else, Steve?
Nope, that was it. I am working with Denise, as she mentioned, on the agriculture and farmland preservation, a grant. There are a number of people that have come forward that are farmers and have property out there that are interested in that. I've talked to Economic Development Corporation as well as the Visitors Bureau for active participation in this, and we'll be reaching out, obviously, to the Farm Bureau and Soil and Water and so forth. And I shared with you some of the documents from the Farmland Preservation Task Force and Growth Management stuff that was done way back in 1999 and 2000.
I'm really interested in the demographic project. I
Yes.
think that will be very interesting, and like historically, some of the changes that are really
Yeah, actually,
unbelievable.
he has reached out. He asked if someone has asked if we want a presentation in latter part of January or early part of February. I indicated February because we have our budget hearings.
Budget hearings.
So it would be sometime in February. It'd be a larger public meeting.
Great.
Looking
right.
forward to that. Do you have anything, Aaron?
You know, it was in the paper this morning that our state representative, well, some of our state representative from
Yes.
District
Yeah.
66, Sharon Ray, is not going to be seeking reelection. So
Mm-hmm.
obviously there'll be probably more to come on that. She's got another year, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I just want to acknowledge the job that she's done, and she's been very helpful. I know to all of us, but
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
particularly to me,
Indeed.
and kind of learning the ropes with the county and kind of the interaction, and how I think that relationship between county and state government
She
should
works
work.
so hard for us, and
Yeah.
she's, accessible to all of us. Like
Mm-hmm.
we pick up the phone, she answers.
Yep.
So
She will be missed.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Anybody else? Anything for discussion? Okay, I will entertain a motion.
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose to discuss an imminent court action with legal counsel. Don't see him
Second.
here, but I presume he'll
I
be
saw him
showing
walk
up.
in.
Oh, okay, good. All right.
Roll. Hambley.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Sweattick. Yes. We will adjourn from executive session. We'll see you next Tuesday, and looks like we're on track with our new system. Much better than when we started. Have a great week.